Well, Walt, we've got a Warriors team with one loss. That loss was to the Spurs team. So the question is, can the Spurs do it again? Or does the Warriors' magical postseason run continue? They've been untouchable here for a couple seasons now.
Yeah, this is definitely the team, if any team, to beat this team. So this is the ideal championship matchup that we probably would have seen throughout the season. So I'm not mad at the results at the end of the season. This is the final game.
Top 2 seeds. And a lot of people have said it's hard to pick against the Warriors until someone beats them. Well,
absolutely.
Spurs, this is your shot. Here we go.
All right, we have Octavius Davis inside. Get it out to Phil Andretti up top. He shoots it from the top of the key. Rims, it goes sideline out of bounds. It'll be taken out by the Warriors.
Scooten says, I don't want the rebound in the stat book.
He
I want
says,
to inbound it.
Get it. He says, we played a game already. I just want to win. I feel like everybody here says if I can have 2 points and win, they'll do it. But somebody's got to get more than 2.
Talk as a current hooper how 2 games here could be, especially 2 very high-level, 100% effort games, right? Like, you got to give everything to win these games.
And one from Tyree Mosley there, making it look easy.
And you also have a team who played and sat, and then a team who's, I mean, they sat for a few minutes, but they essentially are, going right back to back here. So talk about, like, the legs, the lungs. How's everything feeling if you're a player here?
So with everything being considered, being a coach on the side of it, being a player, and then even being on the booth or on the scores table, you see how it affects teams. I feel like younger teams obviously have the advantage when it comes to the back-to-back games or the stall games.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're an older team, you kind of want those back-to-back games so you don't have to sit for a game. And the Warriors are an older team. Not by much. They got some young legs.
Yep.
But the guys that are their stars on the team, that are the older guys, seem to play a game that doesn't tire them out so much.
Sure.
But it all comes down to Brooks Schoon with a fast break, I can say. And he finishes that 5-0 to start for the Warriors. But I can say that it definitely depends on, I would say, age, and it depends on your style of play. So for a team like the Spurs who like to get up and down, they probably want to get an early lead so they can relax later in the game. But if you're set already, you kind of can work yourself back into the game. So it definitely depends on the style you play and the age that you are and wherever you fall in the bracket. So.
Sure. Well, the Warriors got off to an unbelievable start, had a huge halftime lead against the Nets, and just kind of played them even in the second half. The Spurs were down early and then kind of dominated the game from about 7 to 8 minutes in.
Tyree Mosley knocks it down as he was doing in the first game. But
man shows up in the playoffs, does he not?
He does. He's definitely a different type of guy. Throughout the regular season, it seems like he picks and chooses his spots when he does want to do what he wants to do. He can kind of have that lazy, I don't care demeanor, but kind of do things like this when he feels like it. Doesn't make that one though, but he takes these type of shots anytime in the game, whether you're up or down. So he's one of those guys you really, no matter what his demeanor is, you got to check for him.
Sure.
But as Dennis Coker gets it to the left corner, and we have Micah working on Schoon. He gets it blocked, but there is a foul call. And there's a technical foul assessed to Brooks Schoon for calling it a terrible call. So that's 2 fouls on Schoon early, and that can easily play into the Spurs' favor.
Brooks Schoon, and also a technical foul assessed to him.
And they got Laster shooting the
So I
free
believe
throws.
he had the foul on the initial bump before he then blocked it with his other arm.
Yes.
I'm up here, it's hard to tell, just like you, but
Yes, I couldn't see it from where I was. But it did look like
the motion the ref made when signaling, announcing the call to the table was that he extended his right arm. I think he actually blocked the shot with his left arm.
He did.
So
Or either or. It was the arm that wasn't going for the block is the arm that did the foul. Well, toasty, isn't it?
Hot air rises.
Absolutely. We got a lot of people in the gym. Can't tell everybody to be quiet, though.
Good. Oh, that's good.
As Micah knocks down the first free throw.
Could be 4-point play here and almost a little timeout here for the Spurs. And he only hits the first 3, but still a 3-point possession.
And Miko Sullivan Sr., knockdown shooter, cuts into the paint, gets it out to Brooks Schoon, who's been hot today. And he stays hot as he knocks down the tray ball from the way.
That's how you get those 3 points right back.
Yeah, absolutely. He says, I can't get the 2 fouls back, but I can put points on the board. And Martavius Laster shoots that from deep. Great tip to Andrade. He gets it stripped. And Antonio Marshall, who has numbers, gets it to gets it to Tyree, who glasses it in from the left wing. Bank shot. Tyree Mosley.
Different level of confidence to be able to knock down that shot,
and then it's over with the air ball
off the glass.
Absolutely, and he goes for it. Coger was doing it himself in the All-Star game, I want to say. Tyree Mosley shoots it from deep, doesn't get that to go. Phil Andrade tries to grab the rebound, ends up getting it though. Laster pushing the pace. He has everybody's man up right now. Tavius Davis tries to go for the up and under, and Brooks has his 3rd foul now, and that's big for him.
You're right.
Foul number 31, Brooks Coon, that's his 3rd.
With Aaron Hall being a good defender, but not good in production offensively this year for them, that does hurt the Warriors. But having another 3 guys that can score 30 definitely helps. Spurs have a lot to prove this game. They've taken to the media saying that they get unfairly criticized as far as what type of team they are. They don't like that teams are calling them a regular season team, and they have a chance now to prove it, being in the championship game, being able to beat them. You have Trey Johnson, you have Dennis Coger, you have Matt Cunningham on this team with championships.
3 of them to be exact.
3 of them to be exact, but the group of Octavius Davis and Jeremy Davis and Sammy Hines and Micah Bradford and Martavius Laster are all looking for their first.
Yeah. So you got, and Tyree, of course, has 3 for his team. So someone's getting to 4 today.
Everybody on this Warriors team has a championship, I believe, except Brooks and Troy and Charlie.
I don't know about Lonzel.
I think he played for the Warriors.
3rd championship.
So it'd be the Warriors' 3rd in a row.
So that would be 4 for Tyree.
Because he won one with the Spurs, correct?
So that would be 4 for Tyree, yes.
So again, someone's getting to 4 here. And I was going to bring that up, so thank you, Aaron.
You're welcome. Sorry.
No, you're good. The Spurs, obviously, the only team to win 3 in a row, and now the Warriors trying to match that.
Yeah.
With a Suns championship sandwiched in the middle.
It's like it's almost like the dynasty era. It's like the dynasty era almost. You know how like you had the Warriors winning and you had the Cavs winning, then the Bucks just snuck one in there.
Yep.
You know, like.
And it's ironically Western Conference teams. Not that has anything to do with this. We don't have conferences or anything like that. But it's big shot from Coger. Yeah.
Coger knocked it out from the top of the key. 5-point game.
The Warriors have won 7 in a row by my count. I think the Spurs won 9 in a row because they were 2-2.
And
so it's 11-2, against 12-1, which means that they played back in, I believe, week 5. And that's a great layup by Aaron Hall. Any points he gets is extra for this team. He doesn't look for a shot, but if he can get shots up and points on the board, it'll help this team tremendously. Yep. Yeah, I believe that was week 5 these teams played, and neither of them have lost since.
Nope. And Octavius Davis bucking inside for him.
In that Nets game in the first semifinal, the Warriors were scoring well, and the Nets couldn't keep pace. You know, I do think the Spurs have the firepower to keep pace, but the higher scoring a game is, the harder it is to beat the Warriors because they have so much offensive firepower.
4 guys that can score 30.
Yep.
And so, for those who don't know, that's Antonio Marshall, Nico Sullivan. Then you have Tyree Mosley, and then you have Brooks Shoon. And Aaron Hall being aggressive going to the basket doesn't get that to go.
Good move.
Most moves I've seen from him in the league. I like to see more from him. And Aaron Hall gets the rebound there.
A couple of good looks from Coger. Back-to-back possessions.
For those who don't know, Aaron is an elite defender in this league. He is somebody that they seek and put on the top guys, and he does a pretty fair job. And that's a finish by Antonio Marshall.
Would you say his outfit today, rocking the pajamas, is elite?
I would say it's abysmal, but
we love you, Aaron. It's a fashion statement.
And that's a knockdown shot from Micah Bradford.
Mike is one of those guys it's easy to forget about. He's not because he's not a talented player. He's an incredibly talented. He just doesn't always come every week. And he's here and he's showing what he can do. It's similar to Harry Marshall, who doesn't come every week for the Warriors. Obviously, everybody's here. It's the championship.
It's just a different level of skill when you can show up and do things like that. Get a bucket by Tyree Mosley. But show up and be able to get buckets for your team, whether you're here or not, shows to the type of player you are, how you adjust.
Of course, your Grizzlies team played this Warriors team in the quarterfinals. A bad draw for your sake, but
and that is an offensive foul, Antonio Marshall.
Offensive foul.
you were able to make sure Mike is okay here.
I think he might be breathing inside out, guys. Might have got the wind knocked out of him.
I think he's holding his knee. I'm concerned that he might have hurt his knee.
Ooh. And he already had knee problems from what I know. We'll be back after, so we can check on the concern of the player.
Oh, there he goes. Never mind.
Oh, all right, guys. Health is wealth, guys. Health comes first.
Amen. Yep.
I'm glad he can get up. My whole prayer, and this may be off the script, but to anyone who's watching and anyone who joins this, we do this as complete volunteer work. We do this to literally serve the community. It is free entry to get in. Concessions are up to your option, whatever the case may be. But we want everyone who shows up here to be able to leave here doing the same things they came here doing.
Yep.
So whatever
family, job,
everything.
you're absolutely right, Walt.
So that is, when I see someone get hurt or go down or freak accidents or anything like that, I just pray that everyone can leave here the same way they arrived.
I couldn't have said better myself, Walt. Just to finish my thought, talking about you playing the Warriors, Marshall's three is off you. Hard to completely shut down any player on this team, but you guys basically said we're going to make life as hard on Tyree as possible, and Antonio pops off for 30-some points. They've got a ton of guys, a plethora of guys that can do that, so it's hard to pick and choose, but sometimes you do have to pick your poison, and that's what makes them so complete. Is there's only so much you can do defensively.
And even matching up with the Warriors as Tyree gets fouled and he goes to the line.
Foul number 2 is Kobe.
Even in guard, like you said, they have 4 guys that can really go off and get off on you. And then they have the sneaker guys like a Harry Marshall who just really does all the glue things, even though he can score the ball.
What kind of IQ does that player have?
And
I mean,
his
passing,
he's up
his
top.
communication, it's just he's played at such a high level. But
He understands the rules.
And the Warriors are interesting because they're not a huge team. Troy's probably their biggest player. Brooks is one of their top rebounders who is probably stuck on the bench for the rest of the first half with 3 fouls. But they have been able to beat teams. You think of a team like the Bulls with Seth and Nick and Mike. They've been able to beat teams that should and sometimes do out-rebound them. They've been able to do it consistently, and it just shows to the IQ that they have, their ability to play as a team. It's like Tone might give up an offensive rebound, and as the guy comes down with it, he takes it from him. It's like,
They're crafty.
Yeah.
They're extremely crafty.
Yep.
And this team is a smart team in totality. And they also, with the guys that are newer to the team, so like Miko, adding him was huge for them. And Brooks
what a
adding him
great
is
fit.
huge
Yeah,
for
great
them.
fits for them.
And they just basically, Miko, I went up to him and talked to him after we got eliminated from them last season when the Grizzlies were 9-2. And the Warriors were the 7th seed and played 2 games and still won. Miko had 30 points that game, and he was basically saying that they were encouraging him just to play his game and take his shots and play the way he likes to play. And I noticed that when the Warriors play, everybody plays freely. Like, it doesn't seem like anyone's trapped or complaining or arguing. It seems like a solid culture that way, and they all understand the goal as Antonio Marshall gets fouled and goes to the line.
That man, he is as good as anyone getting a free throw line.
Absolutely. I think he might lead the league in free throw attempts.
Last year gets there a lot too.
Seth Johnson might be the league's leader. Shout out Seth Johnson, averaging 19
Great
points
season,
a game after everything you were going through last season.
Yep, and I believe double-digit 10-plus rebounds as well.
I want to say it was 9.9.
Did he finish just under it?
I want to say it was just under. You might be correct. We're going to fact check it now.
Of course we are. 10.5.
10.5
The
rebounds.
only player to average a double-double.
Seth Johnson easily could get an MVP vote. And Sammy Hines goes all the way.
Here's a fun nugget for you. So, you know me. You know you're going to get some stats, you're going to get some history from me. So again, we mentioned the Spurs won the first 3, Suns got 1, Warriors won the last 2.
Yep.
These 2 teams have had a lot of really good games over the years, a lot of incredible games in the regular season. They've actually only played 1 time in the playoffs. Would you remember when it was? It's okay if you don't. been a while.
The one time they played was when Ray Lawrence
exactly
hit the
right.
layup over them, and
second,
that was Martavius Laster was on the Warriors team.
Martavius and Sammy
were
and
all
Latrell
and Tyreek on the Warriors
all of
team.
them on that Warriors team.
They had Ray Lawrence, Dustin Reynolds, Ryan K. Voss,
Austin Halcomb, Chris Green. So
Chris
you know,
Green,
you're
Dennis
throwing it
Coker.
back a little bit.
Yeah, we
so
had a
now
lot of.
Martavius and Sammy played with Tyree. Now they're playing against them. But that's the only playoff game these two teams have faced off, which is wild because they have 5 of the 6 championships and they've only played the one time. So you knew this was going to happen eventually again, and here we are, which a lot of people did want to see this matchup.
And no shot. It'll be shot clock violation. All right, it is 23-20, 5:44 remaining. Laster bringing the ball up the right side of the floor, looking for something to happen. Sammy Hines getting some post work right here, gets the entry. He takes the drive, gets the spin on the backboard, and that'll be on the ground. It'll be out of bounds. Baseline out of bounds, inbounded.
We have a foul number 24, Antonio Marshall, that will be his second. Team 6.
So you got Tone Marshall with 2 and Brooks Schoon with 3. So 5 of their 6 fouls are big ones. And again, Brooks has to be very, very smart. I don't think he is going to play the rest of the first half.
And Harry Marshall
You just can't pick up 4 in the first half.
Harry Marshall just played defense with his hands behind his back so he didn't foul. I saw Tony Allen do that against Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant was sweeping the ball through, and he was like, well, if my hands aren't there, you can't do a sweep through.
And then he hits a 3.
And then Harry Marshall comes down and knocks back.
Is that insulting to have someone guard you without their arms and you still don't score?
Yeah. And timeout assessed to the Spurs, guys. And we'll be back. And we are back. It'll be Spurs ball on the inbound.
Houston, you have a problem. Am I right?
Well done.
Thank you. I thought that was great.
And Martavius Laster on the timeout gets the 3 ball. I believe
Martavius, last season's MVP. The MVP race is so muddied that I think Brandon's a favorite, but there's 5 or 6 guys right there behind him that all are getting probably votes as well.
it's just clear cut to me. I mean, I'm gonna just keep it
For
honest.
you, it's Brandon.
It's Brandon Berry,
Yeah.
clear cut. The guy's every day, he come like me
with
knowing
you.
that,
I'm
like
with
being
you.
inside, driving as far as he does for this team, showing up every game for this team. His team having, I believe, the smallest point differential, like for the last few
For an
seasons.
11 seed.
For an 11 seed, it's like they were in every game because Brandon Berry just. Was,
And what's interesting
yeah.
is as an 11 seed,
And Martavius Laster knocks down another 3 ball.
you saw what the impact. They take out a 6 seed and then they almost take out a 3 seed behind 38 points from him.
And they would have if they kept giving him the ball down the stretch. They stopped giving it to him. The Sixers were about to sneak up on a couple of guys. They might have been here today.
Laster, arguably better numbers than last year. Maybe not the points, but efficiency-wise, incredible.
Absolutely.
Nathan Yaki from the Bucks with a great season. There's like 4 guys off the Warriors that they almost take stats away from each other because they all score so much.
Yes.
Mosley's off there.
They're tripping
And you can also, I mean,
You said Seth Johnson, double
Johnson as well,
Your
the
teammate
double-double.
Vashon, Jared Johnson of the Celtics, and I'm not trying to miss anybody here, but just so many guys that.
Yeah, Vashon coming in averaging 21.8 a game was huge for the Grizzlies. I mean, but him, not being for the playoff games, I guess that may.
Yeah, and his biggest thing was he only played 6 out of your 13, so that's less than half. Some leagues you're not even eligible for voting.
That's very
LJ
true.
was in the same boat.
And then he had got
Great
hurt.
numbers, just didn't quite play, and I know he has an injury, so it's not necessarily his fault. But
And it's a tie ball game, guys.
Blaster a couple threes, and the Warriors for now have found a lid on the hoop.
And we have Octavius Davis guarding Antonio Marshall. He goes up on Trey Johnson and gets the foul.
Man, he gets to the line. Ryan Kwasnicka,
We have
who
a
obviously
foul
didn't work out for him to play much this year,
Zero.
that guy shot a lot of free throws too.
He probably shoots the most free throws I've ever seen in my life.
Different, obviously, style than Marshall, but they know how to get to the line, and
They understand.
Tone's a smart player, but you're playing with fire when you have 2 fouls, and again, Schoon, Brooks has 3, so that's something to keep an eye on for this Warriors team.
Absolutely.
Have we seen Micah since his injury? Hope
I have
he's
not
okay
seen Mike on the floor.
with his knee.
But right now, with the score being close, I think that they'll take their chances, especially when you have the reigning MVP, Martavius Laster, on the floor. Put some respect on the MVP.
And Martavius, he's so consistent. He finished top 3 or 4 in voting for, I think, 4 other times.
And Aaron Hall with a great defense as he takes the ball. He gets it out to Antonio Marshall, shoots it, wing 3, doesn't get it to go.
He almost
tips
gets another
out.
rebound. I can't stop looking at his pants. I must admit, Walt.
Yeah.
Pajamas.
It's that A word I said.
This is the first half. I think everyone wanted here a good game.
Absolutely.
2 really good teams going at it, and
Both teams
you
playing
want a
hard.
great game. Regardless of who you're rooting for, you want a great game.
Absolutely. I think the right team sat and the right team played back-to-backs. So I think we're going to get a really good competitive game. I think it just fell in the cards this way.
Yeah.
Because let's say a team like the Celtics were to make it with a K-Boss and with a Kevin, and, they're a little younger with Jared and Antonio and Cam and CJ Link and Jameer, but they're older
Sometimes
guys.
sitting is tough.
And Tyree Mosley from the wing knocks it down.
This is fun. Some of the league's stars, man, going at it.
Also, shout out to my youth at my job for showing up today. Showing up today. Over there on the right. Back toward the rear.
I saw a lot of them. It's awesome.
Glad they're able to be here.
We got ourselves a great one here,
We have a
Walt.
great one, guys. It is great. And we are locked in, guys.
6 fouls, so you don't have any to give. Can't commit one here.
And Antonio Marshall gets it inside to Aaron. He gets the layup to go with the buzzer. Wow. And that's 33 to 31. The Warriors get the lead, and we will be back after the half. All right, guys, and we are back. And Antonio Marshall has the ball, gives it to Tyree Mosley. At the right wing is Antonio Marshall, right corner, Brooks Schoon, jab steps, goes toward the middle, step through, goes up and over the top, doesn't get it to go, but Andrade fouls him.
Haven't said Brooks' name in a while, except when we were commenting on his foul numbers, keeping him on the bench.
And I mean, if he doesn't foul now, this can definitely give the Warriors more of an advantage. They had the lead going into the half without them playing most of it, because Aaron Hall did get 4 good points.
How about that little buzzer beater?
And that buzzer beater at the same time, so. And Brooks Schoon knocks it down. Laster gets the ball. It is a 3-point lead for the Warriors. Laster pump fakes, scoops it, and gets it to go. Laster with a
Aaron plays good defense. That's a really nice bucket from Laster.
That was a great defense. But this is what happens when you play with people that you know so often. I guess he knew that he could get it off. And Mosley, that's off, rebounded by Octavius Davis. In and out, cuts through. Harry Marshall loses it. Davis gets it. Reverse layup.
Wouldn't mind a little seesaw game here, back and forth. That'd be fun for the second half.
Be fun for us, not for them. Everybody wants to trade leads.
The blood pressure of the.
I think it makes it fun. That makes the game fun.
It does. But if I'm in the game, I'm furious. Get a stop. Sorry, guys. I have a hard time following directions.
I also wasn't being very clear.
Look at us being over accountable.
No. It was my fault.
No, mine.
No.
But I think that was Micah's fault as he misses that.
Well done, sir. Well done.
This one just plays into that.
Yeah, I was gonna play it whether he made it or missed it. And he played that and missed the pass. And that one goes the other way. I'm falling into these ones, guys.
You were made for this.
Harry Marshall tries to feed the ball to Mosley and doesn't get it. From Tyree
Frame, because the entire court is their range.
Yeah, their spacing on offense is next level.
It's insane.
They space so much, we don't have enough camera for
That's
them.
what I'm saying.
Look at these two guys going in.
Trey ball up top.
One of the things that impresses me about Mosley and Laster is a lot of these guys, not all, a lot of them play against each other consistently. And when you know what someone wants to do and you can't stop it anyway, that speaks to their offensive abilities.
There's some things you just have to give up.
I don't see that much from the tone.
Phil Andrade goes all the way, left hand, and gets the finish.
You can't contest that shot.
You cannot.
If you're Brooks, you cannot contest it.
Because Brooks has 3 fouls. Any foul at this point is huge for Brooks. And Harry Marshall gets it to Brooks Shule, who slips. Gets it to Aaron Hall, back to Brooks. He'll fade, gets it back to Aaron. It's 12 seconds on the clock, down to 10. Harry Marshall will drive all the way. Right hand layup, doesn't get it to go. And it goes to Laster. They slow the ball down. Laster is playing like he's on a mission right now.
He is.
Spurs have a
That's to win his
5-point
first
lead.
championship. Him and Sammy have had some close runs at it.
Absolutely.
They're both on the Nets, correct?
They were both on the Nets, and that is a foul from Harry.
They lost in the championship to the Warriors 2 seasons ago. Nope, they lost.
Team Spurs.
Yes,
The Nets
They lost. I remember now. 2 seasons ago, they lost in the finals to the Warriors. 3 seasons ago, they lost in the semifinals as the number 1 seed. That Warriors team that beat them lost to the Suns. So they
That
have.
was when the Warriors were like not new, but like new. They were growing.
So
That was when Tyree came out, or Otis created the Warriors.
So Otis starts with the Warriors in that first season, their first season, our second season. They lose in the finals on the Ray Lawrence buzzer beater. They don't have a team the third season because Tyree and Latrell go to the Spurs.
That's when the Kings
Pacers
came into the league, and
formed.
the Pacers, yeah.
And then they came back the following year.
As Warriors.
Otis is the coach again. They lose in the finals, and then they've won the last 2 seasons. And here we are.
Yeah, there we are. They're trying to three-peat. There's a bit of history lesson for you guys from Mr. Jonathan Henschel, the historian.
Someday I will forget all this and I will be disappointed with myself. But while it's still there,
He's not telling the truth, guys. He's going to remember this. It's going to be on his gravestone.
and I just hope these guys have enjoyed it as much as we have.
And Octavius Davis up high. Down hard, Octavius Davis.
We got a 9-point game, Walt.
Oh, yeah.
And let's see what the
Spurs.
Warriors have.
And that'll be a blocking foul.
Look who's at the free throw line.
And Antonio Marshall will go to the line.
There is something to be said about his ability to do that.
Otis' mom.
That woman loves her son.
She has been driving, she's been driving my soul today.
She's amazing.
Like,
You can see on Facebook the love she has for him.
When she's not here.
Oh yeah, she defends him above
When
no
she's not
other.
here, she's all in the comments.
Oh yeah, that's you know LeVar. Y'all know LeVar Ball. There we go. That's all you need to know. That's his mom. But I love it though. Every single second of it. The love is tremendous.
It's so real.
It's so real. It's tremendous. It's something you would die for.
And we've loved being able to create a family-friendly atmosphere. It's been a great part of this. You see people come out.
I like when the players' kids play with each other.
Absolutely.
That's the
So Andre
top
Robinson
tier.
Jr. and Senior.
Just
Can't have them run on the court and get hurt, you know?
No, I mean the little babies.
Oh, the little ones. I'm like, Junior Senior. I think the only.
Like Mason and Duke Martin are pretty good friends. That's John's son.
Yeah. There's kids all over the place.
We had Ryan and AJ.
Oh, when he showed up for that one game?
Yes. Oh, they picked on him. I felt so bad.
If I would have told you in the middle of that game,
And Michael Bradford is in the shoot motion. No shot.
if I had told you during that game they lost to the Heat and it wasn't good, that Suns team would go on to win the tournament, the whole thing a few weeks later, you would have thought I was crazy.
It's the same thing that the Warriors did
They
last
did.
season.
And it is all about who you have down the stretch. And quite frankly, it doesn't matter how you play before the tournament starts. Now, the better seed you are, theoretically, the easier your path is. But it matters how you play in the tournament.
Yeah, the year they had Brian Zirkle and all of those guys.
They lost in the finals with Zirkle.
Yeah.
That was when they played first. I remember them saying, "Holy cow, shut!" Can we just maybe use a Kevin Harlan reference and say that Marshall just absolutely torpedoed his way into the lane there?
This guy just had a child, guys. Well, his wife had a child.
did. Thank you.
All three of us. All three of us.
And right now the Spurs are clicking on offense.
And the Spurs are clicking right now. It is an 8-point lead. They are 12 minutes away, well, 11:45 away from possibly clinching this. They just have to hold on to this lead that they have right now. They're playing solid defense. They got the Warriors kind of on their heels, hunting this three ball right now as everybody's spacing out. And Miko Sullivan Sr. shoots it, doesn't get it to go. Miko has been
What the
cold.
Spurs are doing, controlling the pace, the spacing, setting screens, all this stuff. They have the Warriors in a straitjacket right now with what they're doing on offense.
And Michael Bradford goes all the way, reverses, and gets it to go.
And why would you not go at Schoon? He's still currently unable to play defense.
And that was huge for them early. Brooks might have cost them some defense. And that's another miss. Then it's Koger. And it'll stay with the Warriors.
It's good to see Laster back in. Him and Bradford both shaking up a bit. Seems like they're okay.
Championship game. They can't sit. They got to play.
It's a pivotal stretch for the Warriors. You're down 10 with 10 to go. You got to get back into this thing. That's Koger on Mosley. Oh my.
And step back. Mid-range shot.
How many hours does it take to work on a move like that?
For him, I don't know. And that's a bucket. Well, that's a foul. Then it's Koger.
Yeah, I'm
Gets to the line.
The Spurs, I don't know that I'd say fresher. They just look a little bit quicker at the moment.
They look, to be honest with you, I'm watching the way that they're playing, and the Spurs look so determined right now. Their energy is up no matter what. They're communicating. They're locked in. There's not a lot of talking going on outside of anything basketball
They know what
related.
they're looking for.
They're
and
not
gonna
playing
try
to the
make it
crowd.
happen. Yeah.
They're in this game right now, and this is the way I like to see the Spurs play. And they're keeping their heads cool, even when they were down. They were able to make a run. And right now, Dennis makes this one, makes it a 10-point game for him. So that's good for him with 10 minutes remaining in this game. But if anybody can come back, it is the Warriors. And Antonio Marshall gets his own rebound, and he's still there. That's a travel violation. When he gets stood up, that's a travel violation. Antonio Marshall. And then it's Koger all the way. gets it to go.
Pushing this lead to
After the pace was created, the Spurs have the advantage right now. They're putting a little pressure on the Warriors.
They are plus 14 in this half.
They are. And that was a foul.
Trey Johnson.
Trey Johnson.
Team's third.
I wish we'd seen the Trey Johnson we saw earlier in our
That
seasons.
man, what he did defensively around the rim.
It's insane.
I'm not sure we've seen a better shot blocker.
Devin Vin is the closest
Wow,
we'll see.
he's making his move now. He's definitely going to get some votes for Defensive Player of the Year.
Absolutely. We have some guys. We have the Devin Vince, the Latrell Tidwells. I mean, funny thing is, you can even say Terrell Hendricks or D. Bradley. Those guys average over almost a block and a half a game.
There's a lot of guys I could say. Terrell's won Defensive Player of the Year twice. D was top 5 in steals and blocks, I believe, this year.
Absolutely.
Antonio Dyson's had his fair share.
He's a great defensive player. Like
Antonio tends to do it with his timing.
And that foul is assessed to number
We have foul number 24, Tom Marshall.
24 to Marshall. This is his third foul. And Sammy Hines has Marshall guarding him. And he gets stripped. And he loses it, but he gets it back. He drives all the way. He gets it blocked by Trey Johnson, as we talked about his defensive prowess. It's a 10-point lead with
That's
17
still
remaining.
announcer's jinx, I think.
And tries to get it into him, but he doesn't get it to go.
All right, Jimmy.
Matt didn't like that.
All right, Jimmy. I call try.
And he gets the ball to Tyree Mosley. He drives, steps inside hand.
Tyree Mosley inside for two.
Tyree Mosley looking like he's going to have to put on the scoring cap now in the last 7 minutes of this game, 6:39 to be exact.
Well, they haven't had to have a lot of heroics in their last 2 championship wins.
They have not.
They,
It's been pretty
this is
easy.
unfamiliar territory for them.
I believe that they beat their strongest competition early on. Like the teams that give them the best run for their money, they beat them early.
I mean,
And then Micah Bradford getting all the way through.
the semifinal game against the Lakers last year, the 1-point win, that was an absolute bloodbath. Excuse me. Championship game, it was a 30-point game. The other team just kind of runs out of gas. 2 years ago, when they beat the Nets in the final, they won by 7, but they felt like they were in control.
And Antonio Marshall knocks it down from deep, making it a 7-point game.
6 to 49.
This is fun. This is fun, Walt.
And great pass from Micah Bradford inside to Octavius Davis. Micah Bradford is having them a game, guys.
Unstoppable on offense right now, the Spurs team.
And that's a miss. Rebound by Octavius Davis, and the Spurs looking like they're controlling this game. And I believe Matt Cunningham's minutes early in the last game definitely gave his stars a chance to play ball.
We have foul number 22, Tyree Mosley, that is his second.
And Dennis Gorga checking into the game for Trey Johnson. Now they have all of their starters out. And I believe they're going to finish the last 5 minutes of the game. Pending foul trouble. And with Brooke Schoen being out there,
Sammy in for Phil, but you may as well
Sammy
have
is in
6
for Phil.
starters with those guys.
yeah, absolutely. Sammy being a bench player for them is huge.
Brooks has to guard at some point.
Micah Bradford just knocks it down. Micah Bradford for 3. Wow. Micah Bradford has been the difference.
49-61.
And Martavius Laster gets the steal. Gets it to Octavius Davis. And he scores. 14-point game. It's a 14-point game. and net Spurs. All right, guys. And Antonio Marshall lays it over
Floating in midair.
and he's just consistent.
I didn't know that it would matter as much at the time. Those 3 quick fouls for Schoon have totally changed this
Changed
game.
his entire game.
Yep.
That's great defense, and he still gets it to go. Martavius Lanston.
He is, as you might say, in his bag right now.
He is definitely in his bag. Like those fries at the bottom.
Is there a better feeling?
No. Those fries get
Especially
A+.
after, I was going to say, if you didn't know and you finish the rest of them and then you go back and you know there's more, that to me is hard to top.
My thing is that the bag takes a lot of the grease off of the fry. So it doesn't taste as greasy. And
You're not thinking about your health, you're thinking about the taste of your
I'm
french
thinking about the
fries.
taste of the french fry. Something about that bag that he wasn't even in this that one though.
This is going to be tough. 14, 3.5 to play.
And that is a risky pass, but laid up in the air.
Just not enough defensively for the Warriors in this one.
And I'm seeing a lot of urgency and intensity from the Spurs right now. And Antonio Marshall knocks it down from deep. 10-point game still.
13 with 3 to play. What do you have to do to pull this off?
Well, 13 points, sorry.
Yeah, you're
make
good now.
everything.
One, you got to get a stop. The Spurs are just unconscious
Right
offensively
now,
in this
I don't
half.
think that was a good shot from Kobe.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Does not matter. I'm just thinking clock. If you got this much on the clock, this much time, I would milk a lot of it if you got a 13-point lead. But when you're knocking shots like that down, I can't say anything. And pack the bag. Is it Maui? Is it Honolulu? It's a travel regardless.
We're going to have to stop the game. You can tell the scoreboard's off.
The scoreboard has not changed.
Yeah, it went to 70.
It's supposed to be 70 to...
It's 70-54.
70
we'll
to
have to take a
54.
quick time out here, Aaron.
All right, we'll be back shortly, guys. To fix
Yep, now they're good.
He got 3 fouls.
They have had no regard for the shot clock. They're so confident on offense, they just keep going at the hoop.
I mean, they do play better fast. And Miko Sullivan Sr. goes all the way and one.
Whoops. Not the time for a foul.
Martavius Lanston. And he makes the free throw. It's a 13-point game. And Michael Bradford lays it up but doesn't get it to go.
And again, I know you're up, but you can't.
And Bosoon gets it.
You can't shoot it. You can't shoot the ball 25 seconds left on the shot clock. You got to use the shot clock.
That doesn't look like a championship formula, but when you have a lead like this,
No, I get it. You've played amazing on offense, freely passing, shooting, all that. But with 16-point lead and now 13 with 2 to play. You got to play to the clock a little bit.
One player that reminds me of someone who manages the game when it's low was Brian Hernandez. When he played in the league, when he had a lead with at least a minute or two left, he held the ball. He made sure he burnt the clock and secured the win. All right, Laster loses that win, and it's out of bounds on Laster.
2 straight turnovers, like 5 seconds in. Just can't have that. Oh my goodness.
And another turnover.
That would have got it to 9.
And Bradford gonna take his time.
And if the Spurs pull this off, Matt, Dennis, and Trey will all have 4 championships.
4 championships.
And we have a blocking foul, number 31, Brooks Green.
And this could be the end of an era.
There's the 4th foul. Well,
it's still Spurs Warriors era technically. They kind of splitting them. And then you have a couple of Suns.
your Suns won, but these 2 teams have consistently, these 2 franchises, I like to say, have consistently been right there at the top. And they gave us a great season, a great tournament, a good game here, and the Spurs just did not miss in the second half. That is now 3 in a row. I cannot believe that. After how well they played offensively.
And Miko Sullivan Sr. shoots that from deep, doesn't get it to go. Martavius last.
Great rebound. Wow.
Gonna get it to Sammy Hines.
Now it's gonna be nearly impossible.
Now it's not looking too nice. And Octavius Davis with the bucket inside. And Antonio Marshall shoots it from deep and knocks it down. And it's still a 10-point game. Timeout assessed to the Warriors. All right, guys.
Well, how about no turnovers here if you're the Spurs?
Yeah, no turnovers for the Spurs is what we need. And Laster will go up, lay the ball up in. And it's looking like the Warriors are giving up. And I see
the
another
first
deep shot in
team.
the future. Antonio Marshall from deep. And
First team wearing a white jersey to lift the K1 championship.
And Octavius Davis gets a bucket inside. And the Spurs get the championship, guys. And that is the ball game. Final score 76-62. The K1 Spurs are your champions.
Back on top. Congrats to them.
Back on top to the Spurs. Shout out to all the new guys. Thank you guys for tuning in this season. We will see you guys in Augusta.